All right, and now we are at the main event of the evening in the heavyweight division between top-ranked heavyweight contenders and the number 12 ranked Jailton Almeida as he tries to crack his way into the top 10 against big knockout puncher, one-hitter quitter ability in the no pun intended biggie boy, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. You know, I know that everybody's going to come into this fight and immediately just say that Almeida is going to throw that front kick, shoot a double, take Jairzinho down, mount him, ground and pound him, take his neck, rear naked choke. I would say that's got about a 62% chance of happening in the first round of this main event. But you got to look at it from this perspective. Rozenstruik doesn't even have to hit you that hard to knock you out. That's how hard that he hits. Almeida's been knocked out before. Before he got into the UFC, he's been knocked out cold before. I don't know who it was by, but I do know he's been finished. Actually, it probably will be on this website right here. Let's see. Let's check. 18-2 overall for Jailton Almeida, and he was knocked out all the way back in August of 2017 by Thiago Moreira, not Thiago Magenta Santos, in the first round, 16 seconds in. He was knocked out 16 seconds into round one against Thiago Moreira back in August of 2017. He then lost a fight to Bruno Aziz at Shoto, Brazil in January of 2018. Since then, he's on a 13-fight win streak. So he hasn't lost in almost 5 years. In Malhadinho, Jailton Almeida. Out of his 18 victories, all 18 come inside the distance. 11 subs, 7 TKOs. Now, looking at that from a betting side, you're going to say, well, I should just bet Jailton Almeida by submission. No, you should not, because when you think he's going to get a sub, he might just mount you and then ground and pound you into the mat. He might ground and pound you. It looks like he's going to get a TKO, and then the opponent gives up his back and he locks up a rear naked choke. I mean, he's going to be the much better grappler than Jairzinho, but it's going to be the question of, can Jairzinho walk into range, land a check left hook on the chin of Almeida and put him out within the first 30 seconds of the first round, or can he time a shot, switch into southpaw, and land a big left hook in that stance change like he did against Alistair Overeem and put him out? We've seen Jairzinho Rozenstruik get rocked on the feet by guys like Alexander Volkov. We saw him get knocked out by Francis Ngannou, but I think Almeida would get knocked out by Ngannou as well. You know, Francis Ngannou is another story, but we saw him get out-wrestled for almost 25 minutes straight against Alistair Overeem. Now, that fight was back, I believe, in 2019. Let's see. 2019, yeah, December 2019, he got out-wrestled, out-grappled, taken down, control on the floor for almost the entire fight until he knocked him out 4 minutes and 56 seconds into the fifth round with the same shot he dropped Chris Daukaus within his last fight, where he landed that switch stance left hook as he switched to southpaw and banged him right on the chin. It's the same exact shot that he caught Alistair Overeem with. But in his last few fights, he's lost to Alexander Volkov via TKO in the first round, a unanimous decision loss to Curtis Blades, where he got, again, taken down, out-wrestled, but they kind of fought on the feet for a majority of it. You know, Curtis Blades kind of outstruck Rozenstruik for the majority of the fight, if I remember correctly. I didn't watch that fight on tape, so forgive me if I'm remembering the fight wrong, but I believe that was more of a striking battle and less of a wrestling approach for Curtis Blades, even though he did get hurt at one point with a big counter from Rozenstruik. I mean, you're going to expect that. And then his last fight knocked out Chris Daukaus in the first round, 23 seconds in. Knocked out Augusto Sakai at the end of the first round. Knocked out Andrei Arlovsky 29 seconds into round one. Knocked out Alan Crowder 9 seconds into round one. Knocked out Junior Albini 54 seconds into the second round. I mean, the guy's got a 10-second knockout against Rob McCarthy in Team Yvel Fearless, December of 2018. He's got so many quick finishes. I mean, knockouts in 23 seconds, 20 seconds, even though that was the loss to Francis Ngannou. I mean, you still got to look at it. 29 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 54 seconds, and 23 seconds. I mean, the guy can put you out literally within the first 30 seconds. It could be the first shot that Biggie Boy lands that he cracks Jailton Almeida on the chin and puts him out. We saw him get cracked with a big shot against Shamil Abdurrahimov in his last fight. He got cracked with a big shot on the feet, got wobbled a little bit, but was able to eventually land that front kick to the body. He likes to land that long teep kick and then use the pullback and retraction to shoot in on your hips and get a double leg. He'll pick your ankle, double leg, take you down, pick you up, change direction in a body lock, change direction in the double leg, drag you one way, slam you back the other way. He's very good at passing guard. He's good at controlling the wrist with the Dagestani handcuff, allowing you to give up your back, pass to mount, take the back, get the hooks in, ground and pound you. Very solid ground and pound from the mount. Elbows, punches, hammer fists. I mean, he will hammer fist your face into the mat like he did against Danilo Marquez in the light heavyweight division. But that's also something you got to take into consideration. This guy is in Almeida is coming up from the light heavyweight division, taking on a true heavyweight with true heavyweight knockout power in Rozenstruik. This is the first fighter in the heavyweight division that Almeida's fought that has true knockout, one-punch knockout power, where he could literally get caught in the first round. But when it comes to a pick, I'm going to go with Almeida. I think that the wrestling inefficiencies, the grappling inefficiencies of Rozenstruik are going to give him some trouble, but I think he's probably working on a lot of knees to time Almeida stepping into range to shoot the takedowns, a lot of uppercuts. I think we'll see Rozenstruik try to land a big uppercut right in the first 10 seconds of the fight, a big knee, and maybe he catches Almeida and puts him out. I would not be surprised if Jairzinho catches Almeida in the first round and knocks him out. I would not, because of the power that Biggie Boy has. But we've seen the grappling inefficiencies, and I think the writing's on the wall. Almeida's going to land that front kick. We're going to see Rozenstruik try to switch stance, land the big hook. Almeida's going to level change off the pressure of Rozenstruik, take him down, get in the top position, eventually work him out, ground and pound. Rozenstruik's going to give up his back, and he's going to submit him in the first round. So I'm going to take Jailton Almeida to defeat Jairzinho Rozenstruik and move into the top 10 via first round rear naked choke submission. I think it's either a first round sub for Almeida or a first round knockout for Rozenstruik. I could see it getting into the second round, but I don't see it going past 10 minutes. I don't think it gets into the third, the fourth, or the fifth. Maybe it will, you never know, but I think it ends within the first 10 minutes, either round one or round two. But I do think Almeida's grappling is going to be too much. I think he's going to be too fast for Rozenstruik, but you do have to worry about the explosiveness of Rozenstruik and the huge one-punch power that he does have, but I just don't think he lands it. So give me Jailton Almeida to defeat Jairzinho Biggie Boy Rozenstruik via first round rear naked choke submission in the main event of UFC on ABC. All right, that's going to be it for my UFC on ABC Almeida versus Rozenstruik, or Rozenstruik versus Almeida preview, predictions, and breakdown. This podcast is going to be available anywhere you get your audio podcasts. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Stitcher, and many more. The podcast will be edited and uploaded to my YouTube channel, which is the same name as the podcast, at the Touch 'Em Up Podcast. You can support the podcast via PayPal. I'll leave the link in the description. And you can also leave a review for this podcast anywhere you can, more importantly, Apple Podcasts, to tell everybody why the Touch 'Em Up Podcast is the best MMA prediction and breakdown podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Double M, and I'm out. Enjoy the fights this weekend.